What's up, everybody? This is Colin from Holistic Heritage Homestead. I hope you're all well. Today I'm going to get into a few more details and a couple of tips regarding the compost pile. During this composting series, we talk about how you could use your livestock systems and your compost systems together in harmony. And essentially, they will literally and figuratively feed one another. So I'm a big fan of proof. So today I'm going to actually show you that this thing works, right? So this is in real time. This is the real deal. You folks can see this is only about halfway full. And this is not even cooked down, so that's going to shrink even more. So not even halfway full. Does not have its full bio or thermal mass. Again, please ignore the roosters in the background. They're just excited, right? So this thing is not at its max potential. It has not been turned once. I have not flipped this. I haven't turned this. I haven't done any behind the scenes. This is as is, folks. What I recommend doing, again, I didn't touch base on this, the previous video, is keep an eye on your moisture content. When you have good compost, it should be wet. You should be able to squeeze it and feel the moisture. Not really, it shouldn't feel like sopping wet in your hands. You shouldn't be squeezing massive amounts of water out of it. That means it's too wet, and that can go anaerobic. Contrary to what people talk about, anaerobic piles will absolutely break down. In nature, there exists, areas and certain environments and situations where things are just soaked all the time, and they will break down. Nature is very, very good at breaking things back down to its original building blocks because nature is awesome, right? However, the aerobic process, I think, is a little better for most contexts because it heats up more and that kills all the weed seeds. So if you're putting this on your garden as a top dress or essentially using this as soil itself or a growing medium, that will limit the amount of weeds popping up. But I'm not that concerned about weeds because, as discussed in our previous videos, weeds are actually our friends if we use them properly. So, but this will break down because it gets so hot and kill any bad things that could be in the pile from, manure or whatever. And also due to that carbon binding, that carbon will heat up and it will latch on to anything that could be toxic as well. So there's lots of benefits of going aerobic, but most importantly, it's just faster. Right? It's just faster, right? So when it's aerobic, it also gets super warm, super hot. So that acts like a little sauna. This stays warm. And I want to show you folks, this is in real time. It's 37 degrees where we are and dropping, and windy where we are today. So it's chilly. It's almost freezing temperatures. Have not turned this once. Again, ready? I recommend getting a good compost thermometer. For a system like this, I recommend something about 20 inches is probably ideal because you want to be able to take your temperatures towards the center. You can go a little longer than that, that's better. So this is reading at a good 80. This is reading about 84 degrees earlier, but I poked around a couple times. So 80 to 82 degrees. Okay, that's like Caribbean weather on top of this compost pile, right? And now as the chickens scratch into this, it really warms them up because it's releasing that. And I don't know if you could see this on camera. I'm going to try to do this one-handed, folks. Again, this is live because this is impromptu. I just decided to do this video right now. So if I could get this open up a little bit, you could see it for a brief second. Steam. Steam. I don't know how well you could see that on camera, but I promise this thing is steaming. Our sauna right here. Come on now. So I recommend that, the people that really work on building their own, what I call, I don't know if I made this terminology up or not, but this is what I'm going to be calling my compost. This is gourmet compost. This is artisan compost. Why? Because as a person who loves to cook, okay, and in one of the industries I've worked on is the restaurant industry, it's all about your ingredients, right? And how you put those ingredients together and when you work them in, together, right? So this is essentially a recipe. It's a recipe for success, right? So in our gourmet and artisan compost, I will flip this as needed, slowly but surely, but you don't really. Most of that turning is going to happen in the stage 3 of the process, right? But this stuff is already starting to get dark and still steaming. You can't see it on the camera, but steaming. The stuff is already cooking down. Zero effort. If it goes without rain for days or a week or so, I could add some water. But what's so awesome about this pile is it mimics a hugelkultur mound. Hugelkultur is an ancient Germanic technique that they would use to garden. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, I'm going to be doing a hugelkultur video very soon. if the temperatures work with me. If they don't work with me, we're gonna have to hang till spring for that one. But I'm definitely doing a hugelkultur video. And in hugelkultur, you wanna make sure that, like I mentioned in the previous videos, your base is a lot of carbon. And I would actually go heavier on the wood chips, the sticks, the twigs, the branches, heavy on leaves, heavy carbon, lots of biochar, lots of charcoal, because what that does is that soaks up the water like a sponge. You ever feel a log that's been sitting in water? It holds so much water, and that water will wick its way upwards through natural wicking, and also through evaporation and heat rising. It's going to pull that water up. It's just going to hold water. So in this system, if you have enough carbon at the bottom and enough wood on the bottom, you don't really need to water it at all. I do, because I want it, again, I want it to be where I squeeze it, it's moist, maybe a drop or two comes out. I don't want it sopping wet. I don't want something that's just, I'm squeezing handfuls of water. That's too much water. But you do want it wet. Use your judgment. That's more of a feeling thing, right? That's also seeing your pile. If it dries out and the temperature drops, it needs some water. If it dries out, flip it. What's cool about a system like this is you can very easily move things from the edges to the center, right? And you can move the center out to the edges. I actually have some scraps I'm going to be adding after this video momentarily. I'm going to dig a little hole, like a little volcano in the center, and I'm going to drop some things that the chickens might not want to eat. Things that will break down for compost, such as more of the onions and the random scraps and your citrus and stuff like that. Some leftover lemons, made some good fish last night, you know. And that's going to go into the middle, and that's going to act like nitrogen. That's going to heat this thing up, okay? Within the week, we build this up. This is going to be hitting 120 plus degrees, no problem, folks. So, again, you're watering. Get that carbon on the bottom. That will take care of that. A lot of the issues with watering, because we like to be hands-off whenever possible, right? Get your watering systems going, right? Because you don't want to have to be out here doing this every day. There's plenty of other things to be done on the homestead, folks. All right, so happy composting. Invest in a thermometer. At least 20 inches I recommend for a system like this. You want to get as close to the center as you can. And the experts recommend taking 3 different temperatures from different areas of the compost. And what's really cool about this system is hardware cloth is perfect for that, right? I can put it in anywhere I want. So cool. How we doing? Wow, that's warmer over there. Wow, look at that. Real life time. Oh, wow, hitting 90. Going to 100. All right, and that's the side of the pile, folks. About 100 degrees, hitting 100. 100 and counting. So we are actually heading into the active breakdown stages in this pile. Little to no effort. Okay? 5 feet away from us, you saw the feeder compost pile. I take things and throw it in there. That is it. Yeah, this is counting well over 100 degrees now. So I hope you folks got something out of this video. I just want to touch base on that. Get your compost, you know, your thermometers, get a good one, at least 20 inches, 3 different temperatures, check your moisture, and make it aerobic whenever you can. Happy composting, nothing but love. Like, comment, subscribe, give me some details, tips, and tricks, some things that you have. Any questions, feel free. We're here for you folks. And again, within you know, after the winter time, this stuff is going to be for sale. The finished product will be for sale if you live in the Ozark region. Again, I'm doing this way more affordable than I should, but I believe in this because it's helping the environment and it's helping properties as a whole. This will literally give you the injection, the inoculation of all the life that you need. So any questions, let us know. Take care, folks.